This chapter highlights a key moment just before Israel enters the promised land. Two and a half tribes request to settle outside of Canaan in the fertile lands east of the Jordan River. Moses initially resists, but a compromise is reached. Okay? So, the first part of this chapter covers Reuben and Gad asked to settle east of Jordan, verses 1 to 5. The tribes of Reuben and Gad have large herds and livestock. They see that the land of Jazer and Gilead, each Israel had just conquered from Sihon and Og, is ideal for animals. Okay, they ask Moses, "Let this land be given to your servants. Do not take us across the Jordan." Concern. Their request sounds like they're opting out of God's promised land, okay? And Moses fears they will discourage the rest of Israel, like the 10 spies did in Numbers 13. I got some views with this one. Check Numbers 13, okay? So, second part of this chapter is Moses rebukes their initial attitude, which encompasses verses 6 to 15. Moses reminds them of the disastrous rebellion at Kadesh when the first generation refused to enter the land. He warns, "You are repeating the sins of your fathers," and it may provoke God's anger again. Okay, lessons. Unity in God's mission matters. Okay, it's dangerous to appear selfish or detached from God's bigger plan, right? So the third part of this chapter, it's about the tribes offer a compromise, verses 16 to 27. Okay, Reuben and Gad propose a faithful solution. They will build pens and cities for their families and flocks, then cross the Jordan armed, fighting alongside the other tribes until all of Israel has received their inheritance. Only after the conquest is complete will they return to settle, okay? So Moses accepts the offer and says, "If you do this, then you will be innocent before the Lord and before Israel," but warns, "If you fail, you will have sinned against the Lord, and your sin will find you out." Check verse 23. Lesson. Commitment to community and God's mission must come before personal comfort. Also, integrity equals doing what you say you will do, right? So, the fourth part of this chapter covers the agreement confirmed and land assigned, verses 28 to 42. Moses records the agreement and publicly confirms. Let me say that again. Moses records the agreement and publicly confirms it with Eleazar the priest and Joshua. The land of Gilead and Bashan is officially given to Reuben, Gad, and half of the tribe of Manasseh. They are mentioned here, joining the arrangement. Okay, these tribes build cities and rename them as they settle. Right. So, what are the themes and lessons from Numbers 32? The first lesson is God's promises require unity and responsibility. Even if someone's personal needs are met, they must still fight for the whole community, all right? Second lesson, be careful not to discourage others. What may seem like a personal decision can influence others spiritually. Third, integrity requires following through, right? Saying the right thing isn't enough. Doing what you promise is key, okay? And fourth, God honors both cooperative faith. The compromise shows that God can work with creativity as long as faith and obedience come first, right? So let's take a look at the conclusion of this chapter, because Numbers 32 shows that real faith balances personal needs with shared responsibility. Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh had found what they wanted, but they still committed to God's greater vision. It reminds us that God honors those who serve others, keep their word, and work toward the God of the whole, even after their own blessings are secure. Don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe to this channel because I see you on the next one.